From Aaron. Every time I leave a comment, some loser who's never had a meaningful woman in his life, or apparently doesn't appreciate the one that gave birth to him, chimes in with some kind of inverse feminist evil that states all women are vile leeches who give nothing to earth and leech off men. This is a movement, right? I'm being told that it's called MGTOW, men going their own way, in which men say that marriage has now become a one-way street, basically. That women get everything out of it, and so they're not going to do it. We talked about this with Liz Wheeler, and her answer was, as Milton might have said, her answer was of a higher strain. I'll get back to that in just a minute, what Liz said. This guy says, it's absolute trash. His name is Aaron. He says, it's absolute trash from Satan, and I'm tired of arguing with people in the comments. Please dissuade them of their delusions. Thank you, Master Klavan, Speaker of Klavan over the House of Klavan, upon which all Klavanites depend for guidance and for wisdom. Okay, last week I asked Liz Wheeler, I said, I got married, and in getting married, I, made a commitment that meant not having other things, but I also got a home. I got someone to take care of me. I got someone who's going to raise my children full time. I got a feminine influence in my life, and a lot of guys feel that they don't get this. Why should a guy get married if all he's going to get is a second income that he wouldn't need if he were alone? And she talked about this in Catholic terms of being a marriage, a taste of the experience of God's love for the church, which is of a high strain, and I actually agree with her that is included in marriage, but it's not really the physical rewards that we were talking about before. I mean, you can have sex without getting married. You can have female company without getting married. What do you get for being married? And a lot of guys feel that because of feminism, they're not getting anything, and they're just being used as a cash cow, essentially, and they feel hard done by. And my answer to this is that I think that you're confusing feminists with women, which is not to say that feminists are not women. It is to say that women are not necessarily feminists. Life is not Twitter. Life is not Facebook. Life is life. Life is something that happens between people in a room together presently in 3 dimensions. And so a lot of these guys, I think, are living too much on the comment sections and not living enough in life. One of the things that can happen in a life is you can tell people what it is you're looking for, what it is you want. You can even do this online with some of the matching things and some of the matching websites. And, there are people out there, as the old saying goes, there's a boy for every girl in the world and a girl for every boy. If what you are saying is women are what feminists portray them as, then I think you're being very foolish. I think that is foolishness. Most women are, like I said, they're looking for something that could be very much like what you're looking for, and maybe it's if you're going out with people who are shallow, who are greedy, that may be on you. I mean, I think it's a little bit juvenile to be basically controlled by a media image of what women are. You are letting the left, which runs Hollywood, which runs the media, which even runs social media, you are letting them create your picture of who women are. I mean, every day I see women who are absolutely devoted to their husbands and their families and who bring that incredibly invigorating and life-giving feminine influence into the lives of their husbands. I don't know why you should surrender the search for that simply because you're being told that it doesn't exist, and simply because you've met people who are shallow and selfish. Maybe, I always say this to women when they tell me I can't find Mr. Right. I always say, are you Miss Right? And I think the same answer would go to some of these MGTOW guys that say, well, if you're meeting people who are shallow and selfish, what about you? What are you putting out there that attracts these shallow, selfish people instead of deep people who want the kind of deep relationship you pretend to be looking for? So, yeah, I mean, you got to distinguish between activism and people. You've got to distinguish between the internet and real life, and you've got to distinguish between this massive effort, massive cultural effort that the left is putting forward to turn their lies into reality. And one of the things, I just want to add one more thing, because I've noticed this with guys who are younger than I am. I grew up in a world in which women were mostly moms, mostly homemakers, and And so I didn't have that influence. But a lot of guys, because of feminism, grew up with a lot of lies. They were told that women were the same as them. They were told that women were as strong as them. They were told that they were a threat to women, but women weren't a threat to them. When they find out all these things are untrue, when they find out that there is a tension between male and female and that women are different than them and want different things and are looking for different things, and have different flaws and have a different set. There are a different set of female flaws than there are male flaws, typical male and typical female flaws. They are angry. They get angry. And I see a lot of this in younger guys. I see a lot of anger because they were lied to. Get angry at the people who lie to you. Don't get angry at the people that they lie about. That would be my advice.